welcome to everybody. My humble namaskar to each and everyone who is here to witness a book launch by Sri Ramakrishna from USA, who is a research scholar and who has done this research on Bharatanatyam, especially based on Karanas. Today we are very fortunate to have him here and launching this book at our organization. First of all, before we start, I would request all of you to say for a couple of holy water.
Actually, keep the mic in your hand, otherwise voice is not coming through. Take the mic in your hand and yeah, it'll come out. Hello. Okay.
We pray a moment of silence. Aham. Thank you.
I think you'll have to hold it in your hand.
I kindly request Sri Ramakrishna sir to come to me.
All right.
And also, Dr. Balasubramanian sir. First, இப்பொழுது அன்புடன் உங்களை மங்கள விளக்கேற்றுவதற்காக அனுப்புகிறேன். முதலில் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார், டாக்டர் பாலசுப்ரமணியன் சார், one of the senior people Toronto,
First, correct. No, don't worry. We can block it and take it. Chandrakala, Surekalaji, please come.
சார், வரவேற்புரை சார், மதிப்புக்குரிய பாலசுந்தரம் சார் அவர்கள் வரவேற்புரை வழங்குவார்.
எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். உங்களுடைய ராமகிருஷ்ணன் நல்ல பாட்டு அவர்களுடைய ஆட்டங்களை நாங்கள் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். உண்மையிலே எனக்கு அது ஒன்றுமே தெரியாது. நல்ல பண்ண முடியும் பார்த்தேன். நான் முதலில் டீச்சர் ஏற்கனவே நிறைய திரும்பியிருந்தாலும் இந்த குறுகிய கால காலத்தில் நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் 2 மணிகள் எல்லாம் வந்துட்டீர்கள், ஆசிரியெல்லாம் வந்துட்டீர்கள். மிக மகிழ்ச்சி. அடிப்பட்டமான ஆட்கள் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு சரியாக வந்திருந்தாலும் மிக பொருத்தமான சபையோடு வந்திருக்கிறீர்கள். இந்த புத்தகம் கொண்டு வந்து எங்களுக்கு அறிமுகப்படுத்துவது மாநில உள்ள அனைவருக்கும், இங்கே இருக்கின்ற அனைவருக்கும் இந்த நூல் பயன்படும் என்று நினைக்கின்றேன். அத்தகைய நூலை இங்கே கொண்டு வந்து அறிமுகம் செய்வதற்காக உங்களுக்கு நன்றி சொல்கிறேன். அதனை முன்னெடுத்து கொண்டிருக்கின்ற எங்களுடைய முனைவர் சூரியகலா அவர்களுக்கும் நன்றி கூறி உங்கள் எல்லோரையும் வரவேற்று அமைகின்றேன். நன்றி. ஐயா அவர்கள் உங்களை பற்றி கூறியிருப்பார். அந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் படிங்களை நாங்கள் கேட்டு அறிந்து கொள்ளலாம் நினைக்கிறேன். நன்றி நன்றி.
First thing, Sir Ramakrishna, Shri Mr. Ramakrishna, Sir will give an introduction about his book, and then later on I can overview the book. But then still everybody has to, I know the dance teacher, they all has classes and practices and all. I know we can't keep them for a long time. So very quickly we can launch the book. So first Sir will give a brief introduction and what it contains and everything. He will give us the note on his book.
Thank you all. On a busy Monday, you all have taken time to come at very short notice. We were initially planning to do it on 22nd, and then we thought there was a more clash between the opportunities that you all had to attend other functions. So thank you for coming in first. So a few of the faces here are familiar, except the second lady who's sitting here, Vanita ji, whom I've been associated with for about 2 years now. And of course, Ashwini, where is she hiding? Yes, there she is. So first,
in front of all our senior teachers.
yes, and all my respects to all the senior dance faculty and all the teachers. I got introduced to the 4 of them, and I'm sure there is a few more. And all the dancers who have come here, and my dear friend who has actually traveled in from Muscat, and he had some other options, but he still chose to be here in the evening today. So primarily the book, when I wanted to talk about why is it relevant for the academic community, what is it that should interest anybody who's doing a PhD in Bharatanatyam or has been actually practicing and training and also teaching Bharatanatyam. So what I did take is, it took me about almost 5 years to do research. There is about 40 primary researchers, including the Bharatamuni's Natya Shastra, which took me almost about a year to research and write down a few topics. There is about 26 chapters in the book. Of that, only 16 are connected directly with the practice of Bharatanatyam, what all the gurus and the dancers are already doing. But there are 4 themes which I took in the book. We thought we should address that. So the first theme is, when we do the dance, what does it talk about from the culture and the whole traditions that we have been blessed from a tradition that has passed on a few millennia. So the Guru Sishya Parampara is something which is predominant. It still continues today in different ways and names that it is being called. So I've taken efforts to write about the Guru Sishya Parampara, what does it involve, what does it engage. So from the tradition part and the culture, the word culture itself comes from the Tamil word Kalacharam, and that's basically been something which I've taken about 2 chapters to write about it. Since it is the gurus who are basically helping young children who basically are at a very formative age for learning Bharatanatyam, I would devoted a full chapter as a part of the tradition as to what Bharatanatyam does for the young minds. So that is theme number 1. Theme number 2, I've connected it to the spirituality and the divinity part. What happens is, when you start doing the dance practices, it basically starts by where you start in the Padmasan in yoga, connected with basically the Samapadam portions that you'll start. Then you go to the Aramandi, the Murumandi, and then do all the parts of what we think is helps you become better dancers when you take on very, very serious levels of practices, the Adavus and the parts of it. There is a concept of the chakras within our own system, where there is a Kundalini awakening and the 7 chakras basically that talks about. So there is a very dear friend of mine, she has actually done her PhD on a topic called the dance imagery of South Indian temples. Her name is Bindu Shankar, and she is currently based out of California. And she has taken about five temples in South India where basically she thought when you walk into the Garbhagriha through the Vimana, how those are the yogic levels which takes you to the Kundalini awakening part. So that is the second theme which I thought we should know as Bharatanatyam dancers and from a culture that we have come from. So that is basically taking literally dance, spirituality to divinity, and then the whole chapter is dedicated to that. Amongst all the temples in South India, so Bharatanatyam, the name itself came possibly late 19th century or 20th century. It was called Sadiratam before that, Sadir as it would have been called, till when we go into the Brigadishwara temple, which is the Periya Tanjai Kovil in Tanjore. I don't know how many of us have noticed, in all temples in South India, there are four entrances at least. The four cardinal points are covered except Brigadishwara temple. Brigadishwara temple is one way in, one way out. So when Rajaraja Chola built the temple of that magnificence in about 7 years, the construction started around 1003 and the Kumbhabhishekam and the consecration happened on 1010 CE. The millennium uh, launch of that happened with Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who had about 1,000 Bharatanatyam dancers and they performed in the inner sanctum part in 2010. So Brigadishwara is a landmark temple, and if you look at one of the chapters, what I've mentioned there is what the dance imagery for the South Indian temples talks about. On the walls of the temple is about 3,000 lines of Kalvattu, which would be the inscriptions written in a language which possibly will be more Tamil in the prevalent times of 1010, the Chandra Rajaraja Chola's time. He has named the Devadasis who were trained in Sadir at that time, the names of the villages that they came from, their gurus, what was the type of remuneration paid to them. It's about more than 432 of them. That is all the inscriptions around the temple. So Brigadishwara is a landmark for that. And again, Rajaraja Chola believed in the concept of 369, which actually means the main temple, the Garbhagriha is about 18 feet tall is the Shivalingam, 54 feet is the circumference, 216 feet is the tallest point of the temple. As you walk into the temple entrances have two monolith stones which are 42 feet in height. There are 216 Shivalingas which are inside the place. So the 369 goes on and on. And 369 is a big thing because if you have heard about Nikolai Tesla, he also used in the magic of 369, he talks about 3, 6 and 9, how they rule our whole lives. So there is a full video available on the Tesla related part. So Brigadishwara temple for the dance imagery and spirituality is the second theme. Two interesting themes, and I was just talking to sir before we started about this. I said we should know where we came from, what is our place in the cosmos. So human beings on in Scarborough, in Toronto, in Canada, in North America, in Earth, solar system, and if you zoom out into the galaxies, we are very insignificant in terms of where we are. So I wanted to just position that. So I did a few topics which I read on Vedic astronomy, and I've covered about 2 chapters on that fully. So the idea of basically what is Nataraja? How does Chidambaram come to be important? Why is the whole Chidambaram festival of Ardra, which is the Paurnami after the Kartika Masam, so important? Ardra festival is also celebrated from in Trivandrum and in Chidambaram with great pomp. That was the month in 6191 BC where they could actually view the Nataraja iconography. So the Nataraja iconography and Chidambaram Chitta Ambaram, as the name is, and that's the first of the 5 elements for space. So Chidambaram got its significance almost in 6191 BC. So the temple significance goes back to 8,000 years. So I've covered that as one of the parts. And then the fourth one is around what is the modern connect between Chidambaram, what we are doing, the Vedic astronomy, and the concepts that we spoke about spirituality and divinity, and how does it connect with the modern science, and very essential to the way when we go to watch a performance in Bharatanatyam, there are two aspects that are very important. One is the Dwani, so the music which goes with the dance. So I've devoted a full chapter on the physics of sound, the evolution of sound, the whole part of how sound itself evolved, how the Sare Gama Pada Nisa is also connected with our influence, learning it from the animals and birds, the ability of our whole tongue to talk through the particular language as it evolved. And for those of us from Kerala, we should possibly have heard of Atirata Yajnam, which happens in Alvai once in 12 years. The last one was done in 2008. So for 10 days, the Kerala Nambudri Brahmins, they erect a pandal, stay inside the pandal, and they do chants for the yajnam for Agni. The beauty of those 10 days is you cannot write or decipher the words in any language because they are only repeating the sounds of birds and animals. And after the 10th day, the whole family comes outside the pandal and then the pandal is then set to Agni. That is the part from where sound evolved. So the original sound linguistics are covered in detail. Then talking about what sounds we can hear. So if you look at the column that we do outside our houses, so sound has shape. And if you look at a tonograph, so in a tonoscope, what sound has done is from 20 megahertz to 20,000 megahertz, we can hear that as a human being. But if you see the way the column patterns are drawn, they start becoming very complex as the megahertz of the sound improves and increases. From 437 to about 2800 megahertz, if you see the way sound and shape of sound changes, it is very complex for geometric patterns. That is what we draw as column. I've gone on to describe a bit of that, and then I've covered some part of the science where we primarily from sound is basically volume, tonality, diction, volume, meter, rhythm, raga, rasa, laya, natuvangam. That's the connect I was able to do. From there, I've gone on to, so if I don't know how many of you all have, I heard at least two of our friends here speak about, so in Geneva, in the Institute of Particle Physics, there is a 6 foot tall Nataraja, which was gifted by BRC, and at that time the president was Abdul Kalam. And I went to Geneva to shoot only 2 photographs there, which is also in the book. God particle, there is an Austrian physicist who talks about, his name is Frank Capra. He says, at a subatomic level, when there is Ananda Tandavam, which is what the Nataraja, it's in your, so that is what you will find the Nataraja statue is at the point of absolute Ananda Tandavam. So there are two parts to it. So right from Big Bang to Rudra Tandavam. Rudra Tandavam is chaos. The point at which there was a possibility of creation, that is described as Ananda Tandavam for the first part. And there is a cosmic component of Shiva, which is in 3 parts. There is an Arupa, where it is the formless one, Arupa Sarupa, which is just a possible way of identifying what is manifestable, if I can use that word, and then Shiva, which is then manifested. So Shiva as a Adiyogi is also connected with Chidambaram for the Nataraja, and then the Apasmara and the Nataraja forms the point of Ananda Tandavam. That is the 4th part which I have covered. There is the Rasa Sutra, which you all have been practicing, you all have been doing everything that comes about. The progression of Rasa Sutra itself is in 5 stages. I have made an attempt to give it from a common man's part. So if you read it, you all will possibly have been practicing it, but I have just put an attempt to put the theory part. So those are the four themes in the book. I hope this gives you an opportunity to use this for your students to say, choose some topic. Maybe this could be your PhD topic or your MPhil topic or your MFA, BFA, whatever the parts of it. That's the academic part of it. And I've put one chapter which is a very dear friend of mine. She's choreographed Kalari plus Bharatanatyam and called it Thalba. I'm working with her and the Ministry of Culture in India to see if in case we can adopt it as the ninth form of dance apart from the eighth. And she's got a 3-level certification on that which goes on. So that's a part of the process I've just introduced in the book. I've also paid my respects to all the gurus and the dancers who have helped me compile this book. One of them is sitting here. Ashwini is one of my first persons, and then of course her guru and her student, she's possibly one of the ones who also forms a part of it. So that's the part of the book. So I can stop here.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful explanation. I was just going through the book when you talk about Vikraham and everything. It was also experienced.
Bindu Shankar.
There are many now upcoming PhD research scholars definitely can use this book. Not only PhD scholars, even the PhD program doing in yoga or astrology, anybody can use this. That's a reference book. So last time when he launched his book at Vanita's unit at Kalaikovil, at that time I was just overviewing the book. And then after that, it was a very short time, so I couldn't do it properly. But this was actually after that I started reading the book, and it completed many things. I have just put some sticky notes because I have so much of doubts to clear. So today I don't want to take a long time, briskly, because some of them Ramji has already explained. So I don't want to repeat that again and again. So the Shall We Dance? Sensing Visual Karanas, written by Mr. Krishna. Total number of chapters in the book is 28. I'm not going to talk about each chapter because some of the chapters are very familiar to all the dancers. But here the most of them all are seated here are the dancers. So I don't think it's everything. I don't want to overview again and again. So some important chapters which is more related to us, I will just talk about it. The Natya Sastra, which was written by Sage Parada in between 200 BCE and 200 CE, but estimated vary between 500 BC and 500 CE. And here the some time limitation, different books says the different time limitation. This Sanskrit treatise on the performing arts contains the detail in 36 chapters, what is having 6,000 slokas. Here in this book, Ramji's book Shall We Dance, the fourth chapter specifically defined in this book is Karanas and Gaharas. The author of Shall We Dance has mainly taken a literature review from Natya Sastra, of course with his extended research on many treatises which is featuring Natya Sastra. Even Abhinay Dharmati has touched Abhinay Darpanam to even Sangeeta Darpanam, everything. This book forward by, first of all, I'll go this book forward by Arundhati from a well-known dancer from Kuwait. And as I told you before, I have never seen I have read about I don't know how many books so far, but I have never seen such a good forward for a book. So please all of you also read that. And the chapter 1, it has contained 20 chapters, but quickly I'll say about the chapter 1. Okay. Shall I fix it? Then no need this one, right? I think, can you hear? Yeah. Okay.
This is for them to hear.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I'll hold it. No problem. Okay. So, introduction to Bharatanatyam in Natya Sastra. Ancient days, this dance has been said as Kutu in Sangam period. Also in Sangam literature, there is a word called Nadanam, has mentioned in many places. Later it called Adal during the Pallava period. Adal we have called Adal Mahalir and Adal Maharigai and all. Then Sadir, it was after the Pallava period, it called as Sadir. And then in during 16th to 17th century, maybe Saravojis, the Marathas and the later period, it called as Chinnamela. So much just before calling it as Bharatanatyam, it called as Chinnamela. And in 19th century or early 19th century, 1910, later after that, in 1930s, like the revolution which made by E. Krishna Iyer and Rukmini Devi Arundel and them. Later it got a dignified name called Bharatanatyam. So that is briefly explained. In chapter 2 is the Nirupanam, which is 17th century. Sarafoji too has introduced 18 Nirupanam, start from Jaya Jaya to Mangalam. So early understanding of Bharatanatyam, later this has become almost 8 to 9 items in a Bharatanatyam repertoire. So Nirupanam has became, it was decreased in numbers and it became the Bharatanatyam called as Margam or Kacheri Urpadi, and this was organized by Tanjore Quartet, the second brother Punnaya. Chapter 3, explanation of 4 Vedas and the elements taken from each Veda and dance as considered and kept as a 5th Veda. That we all know in the உலகியல் வரலாறு நம்ம எல்லாருமே படிச்சிருக்கோம். The Rig Veda has 1028 slokas, the Yajur Veda has 1875 slokas, Atharva Veda contained with many books, Sama Veda 1875 slokas. Each Veda has 4 subdivisions or major text type of 4 portions, that is Samhitas, Aranyakas, Brahmanas and Upanishads. So he has explained even Aranyaha, Brahmanas, all these 4 subdivisions in a short paragraph, but it gives such a variable explanation. Thank you so much for that. Every time I have to actually thank you for a certain thing. It was so easy way to understand, and it's really a very, very useful book for all of us. Also, explanation has given by all other important classical dances of India, such as Kathakali, Kathak, Odissi, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam, Kuchipudi, and also the Kshatriya dance. And only the names as given by the folk dancers of India, starting from extreme south to extreme north and west and east. It's almost about 100, even Jhumar, 300 like Jhumar and Bhangra and Dandiya and all the Bihu, many, all the 300 type of folk dance. And then actually I was doing a research on those folk dance, and many of them I couldn't get it from Google. So that much depth research you have gone through, but it was a good idea. Like I thought, even to research on the folk dance also is one of the very important thing for all dancers. And chapter 4 is Shruti and Smriti. Shruti have been described as a revelation through Anubhava, experience, and Smriti includes the Vedic astronomy and deep-rooted understanding of universe around us. So the Vedic astronomy and the dance, cosmic dance, Mahindan sir will be giving a explanation for that. One very important subject for dance is who is Shiva. There is a crystal clear answer for this question here. It has, as you said, Arupa, Rupa and Swarupa. ஸோ ஆதி அந்தம் இல்லாதவன் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, நம்ம ஆதியும் அந்தமும் இல்ல அரும்பெரு ஜோதிங்கிற மாதிரி அதுல அவ்வளவு அழகா அந்த 6 குணாஸும் explained that Shiva attributes the further subdivisional into 8 categories with 8 attributed per category, 8 into 8, 64, starting from Linga to Sishya Bhava. And chapter 6, Shiva the cosmic dancer,
explained about his Panchakrityam, Aindolilgal, that is Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tribhavana, and Anugraha. Padaithal, Kathal, Alithal, Arulal, Maraithal. Chapter 7, Performing Arts Around the Globe, mainly on Triyangas, Anga, Upanga, and Pratyanga aspects, how it has been implemented to the dancers and how it's performed all around the globe. Chapter 8 is a brief intro into Adavu, Hastas, and Abhinaya. So, it's according to Natya Sastram. Nritta, Nritya, Natya, the three major portions of Bharatanatyam. Bhava, Raga, Talam, the three main elements of Bharatanatyam. Natya has research under 6 categories, that is storytelling, expression, dialogues and narration, costumes and mudras, costume and makeup, music and lyric, stage craft and choreography. So this Natya has been revised and it's research under this category. So that is called Natya, right? The Margi and Desi tradition, that is in page 95. I am not going to explain the Margi and Desi. As you all know, Margi is a classical dance form and Desi is the folk art forms which is for the common man. Chapter 9, Garbhagraham. Sir has explained so vividly, I don't want to come to that point at all. And chapter 10 is Chaturvidha Abhinayas, specially features Angika Abhinayas and the Bharatanatyam, Angika Abhinaya and the Bharatanatyam repertoire from Alaripur to Tillana. That means current days, present day what we perform in repertoire, that has been explained. And chapter 11, that is in page 112, postures and adavus, that is Stanaka, Mandala, Chari and Mudras. Chapter 12, prelude to Karanas, that is Nritta can be divided into Chari, Karana, Kanda, Mandalas, Angahara. So Chari is only one leg movement. Karana is the 2 leg movements. Kanda is the 3 leg movements. And Mandalas, 3 to 4 Kandas make Mandala. Angaharas, 4 to 9 Karanas make Angaharas. Mandalas again 4 to 5 Angaharas. So if you see Karanas, we can very clearly can understand this. We can easily find out whether it is in Kanda or it's Chari or Mandalas or Angaharas. And 108 Karanas and 32 Angaharas are defined in Natya Sastra Margi style. So that's what Margi mainly explains. Then chapter 13, the 108 Karanas which has mentioned in Natya Sastra from Thala Pushpa Putam to Ganga Vastanam. So that is, in the book we can see Ashwini has taken almost all 108 Karanas. If I would have taken those Karanas, will be definitely by the time broken all my legs and neck and everything. So she had done a great job. And the very important thing, the research scholar and the Karanas who Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who has done her, I think 12 to 13 long years to do her research on Karanas in various temples in South India. She has observed and she has given her observation and opinion on each Karanas briefly and rendered the perfect pose on each one of them. So Ashwini Satyamurthy has rendered her perfect pose on each one of them. Okay, chapter 14 is Adavus, basic exercise in Bharatanatyam called Adavus, that is all of us know. So different style of Bharatanatyam known as Bhanis have different number of Adavus in their training practice. So Adavus are the combination of Stanakas, Mandalas. So Stanaka we know Samapada, Ekapada, Nagamanda, Indram, Garudam and Brahmastanam. Mandalas, Ayatam, Alida, Prenkanam, Prerita, it's so on. So the Chari Veda has Bhumichari and Akasachari. So Bhumichari is 16 in numbers, Akasachari is 16 in numbers, that is in page 366. Also Prayogas of Trayangam has explained in these chapters. Trayanga Prayogam, has been explained. Chapter 15 is Astamudra. As all of us know, Asamyuda Hasta and Samyuda Hasta. But Nritta Hasta is the different thing that is also mentioned there, right? And chapter 16 is Abhinayam, especially on Navarasam. Now, Abhinayam we know Shringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bibhatsa, Adbhuta and Shantarasam. As we all know, Shringara, love, comedy, compassion, anger, valor, disgust, wonder and peace. Chapter 17, music, talam and natuvangam. Samji has explained it so well, how the music and talam is important for Natyam and also how it connected with the universal sound. Dhvani, the physics of sound, acoustics. We have in our bachelors and masters acoustics. Bachelors we have acoustics. Children always having a great time doing the acoustics. Divided and explained it in depth with pitch, duration, loudness, timbre, texture and spatial location, spatial locations. How a Bharatanatyam set to Carnatic music, explanation given in the chapter in this chapter 17 and page 423. Chapter 18 is Angaharas. There are 32 most common and important Angaharas is classified by Bharata below. That is Sthiti Hasta to Adhuni Kuttaka, page 429. Chapter 19 is Rasa Sudra, very important one. It's in our subject. The parts of Rasa Sudra is Vibhava, Anubhava. Vibhava as divided in two parts, Alambana and Uttibana. Alambana is the primary cause, Uttibana is exciting determinants. So, then Anubhavam, internal emotion, connect to the world of the audience. That is Anubhavam. நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பாவம் பண்ணும் பொழுது என்னத்தை அனுபவிக்கிறோம் அப்படின்றது தான் அனுபவம். அண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் கிரியேட் த ரொமான்டிக் மூட் லைக் பியூட்டி. ஸோ ஃபார் அன் எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஃபார் அ தலைவன் தலைவியா, ஹீரோ ஹீரோயின், இஃப் தே ஆர் இன் தேர் ரொமான்டிக் மூட், த பியூட்டிஃபுல் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் கிரியேட் த மூட் ஆஃப் ரொமான்ஸ். பட் அனுபவம் வந்து feeling the fragrance of the flower. So, but seeing one thing and enjoying and feeling is another thing. So, that is Anubhavam. And the Vyapachari Bhavam, which is Sanchari Bhavam. So, Sanchari Bhavam is transitory, add more layers and complexity to the platform, hence for a performance. Then Samyoga, the last one. Union of coming together with Vibhavam, Anubhavam and Vyapachari Bhavam. All together varadudha Samyogena. Last time சொன்ன மாதிரி சாம்பாரோ ரசமோ மாதிரி எல்லாம் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து வர்றதுதா Samyoga. And Bhava, the mood, Sthayi is permanent rasa. For an example, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை காப்பி, அதுல வந்து வாத்சல்ய பாவம், ஸ்தாயி பாவம், எப்பயுமே கருணா வாத்சல்யம் தான். அதுலயே நாங்க we are traveling on the Vatsalyam itself. So that is Sthayi. Sthayi புடிச்சுக்கிட்டு நாங்க we go to all the this thing. But more than giving an example for a Vatsalyam, so இனி என்ன பேச்சு இருக்குது, இனி என்ன பேச்சு இருக்குது, போம் போம், கண்டிப்பா ரௌத்ரம் தான். அந்த ரௌத்ரத்திலேயே இருந்துட்டு Sthayi is the anger, Raudram. From the Raudram you travel to all other feelings. So that is then the explanation on Satvika Bhavam. Satvika Bhavam is reality, which comes mostly we can see in the movies and the teledramas. So that is Stamba, Sveta, Romanja, Swaraveda, Vepadu, Vaivarnya, Ashru and Pralayam. Fainting and a change of colors and tears and trembling, sweating, all this thing we can show the Angika Bhavam, Angika Abhinayam through for the Lokadharmi, that is Natya Dharmi, and Satvikam, it comes in Lokadharmi, which is mostly in movies and teledramas. Nowadays we can see lot of tears in teledramas. Teledramas actually, in fact, you can enjoy all the Satvikam. Beyond 8th Satvikam, we will pay more. Chapter 20, the Guru Sishya Parampara. So actually Guru Siksha Parampara sir has written about today's currently how the Guru Sishyas, the relationship between a Guru and a Sishya. But Guru Sishya Parampara we have Tanjore Parampara, Valuvur Parampara, Melatur Parampara, Kanchipuram Parampara, Mysore Parampara, and so on, Tandanai Parampara, and so on. So the Tanjore Parampara from that time till now there are Sishyas who comes from that tradition. And today there are some institutions they are following that, because when you have a very dedicated students, that is like that is a real Guru Sishya Parampara, the Guru Seva Panni. For an example, Vanita and Ashwini. Ashwini most of the time she stays with Vanita. Chapter 21 is Aharyam. Aharyam is comes to four category which describes in Natya Sastram: Chandima, Vyajema, Jestima, and Sanjeeva. So those sound, light, and all the decorations for the dancer and for the stage, that also comes under Aharyam. Chapter 20, we are almost coming closer. Chapter 22 is the Indian dance festivals and Aranga Pravesham or Ranga Pravesham or Arangetram. It's described about that. Indian dance festival, sir has mentioned about Khajuraho festival. So I'm so fortunate I have performed in Khajuraho festival many years, like 25-30 years back. So there are many festivals from that time, from Khajuraho to Konarak Sun Temple Festival, Mamallapuram Festival, Natyanjali Festival, and many festivals. Nowadays, Chidambaram Natyanjali. And Natyanjali Festival happens in all the Shiva temples nowadays. And so that explained about what is Natya Festival and everything. Chapter 23 is again the dance festival. Chapter 24 is the young kids, how you train the kids. So that was explained. So like we must ask the teachers here how to train a dancer student with the age of 3.5 and 4. So she is very specialized in that. I have seen the teachers who are training the young students doing arangetrams and all. Sometimes I'm so surprised to see a young kid of 8 years, 10 years, they do amazingly some performing arangetrams here in Toronto. I have seen. And the next one was Kalba, that sir was mentioning about. That Arundhati is one of the person who has introduced Kalari and Bharatanatyam together. The Kalari is originated from the state of Kerala. And Kalari, I have seen the Dr. Chandralekha, she is no more now. She has performed Kalari, and the teacher must have seen, right? Chandralekha has done the Kalari and connected with Bharatanatyam. She have done amazing work on how to do the Kalari, which can be merged with Bharatanatyam. So the Kalari is Kalam. Kalari means the space of dance, and Paitu means Kalari Paitu is the Paichi, the practice. Kalari or the old martial arts in India, when you see from north to south and east to west, in every region there is a kind of martial art is in practice even today. Kalari is no mother of Indian martial arts. It says over 3,000 years of history. It is also known as one of the oldest martial art into the world of Kalari, divided into 3 categories. Only Meipayattu, the physical training, Kolka Kalari, that is the stick fighting, and Verum Kai is the barefoot, bare hand you fight. It's like a wrestling. Other than these 3 categories, it's used to weapons such as sword, shields, spears. This is not only just practice, also students need to know practice discipline, spirituality, where some manner it has to be following Bharatanatyam. A student should focus in his subject where she or she has to be spirituality and mentally connected. Even in Tamil literatures like Purananuru, it has mentioned many martial arts, which is while dancing, the people have practice in like Mungila, Silambatam. Even in our tradition, we have such dance. Breathing exercises and meditation help them to develop and improve mental clarity and focus. Kalba, both the dances are significantly connected with the history. Bharatanatyam and Kalari is study beyond literature, even it has the connection in the mythological background too. When we see the basic posture in Bharatanatyam, Araimandi, this position found in Kalari for basic defense and attack movements. So you take Aramandi position for your the attacking movements. Kalari for basic, we must give the credits to Guru Arundhati for bringing this martial art to the world for all of us to understand the essence of Kalari and how it connected to Bharatanatyam. Kalba is a fine art which is combined with two technicality of two major Indian classical dance and a major martial art. Two dance has similar mandalas, charis, much suitable for men to continue their dance career in a different angle. In curriculum has constructed by the Guru. Arundhati is an astounding way. Categories in three different levels: beginner level, fundamental, intermediate level, it's Madhyama, advanced level, mastering to art. Where the syllabus has constructed step by step. So this was about the brief introduction of all the 28 chapters, but one is very more interesting. I was just for the time consumed, I was just running. So the most interesting for all of us, it's something. It's not only interesting; it is something very different. Is astrology and astronomy and iconography of Shiva. That will be astronomy is not my subject, but now I'm trying to read lot of astrology magazines and informations. So our Tamil lecturer Mahindan sir, who has done his astrology, he has done his PhD in his astrology. He will just give a description and explanation on this subject. Thank you. You can.
First of all, thank you for coming to this event. Most of them are multi-speaking language people, and I will try to speak in English. Thank you, Ron. You did a good job because this is not you did a good job. This is we are diaspora literature and diaspora. We are moving to people are moving to the different country. I mean, Sri Lanka and all over the country come to the Canada, and this is a lot of help to learn the language as well as culture and our traditional dance to come to the world and export into the world. Thank you. First, when you are mentioning Tesla 369, 369 mean they have a mean. Western astrology combined with they all copy from Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology say Guru 3, 6 is Guru is a Raja Guru, Asura Guru is 6, 9 is so I mean the 9 is this one Mars. Mars is a 9. So we want to be a man. You have to be a Mars. Mars is strong, then you'll be a man. That's the Shabbai. If you have marriage time, they're using the man house as Shabbai Hutam. These kind of things they are looking. If your Mars is strong, strong enough, the man can't stay. When you are flaming the light, only two planets influencing us on Sun and Moon. They are passing light. Moon is the one affecting every individual soul. Like when we are coming from who we are, who am I, then we ask the question, we are soul. We are coming from reincarnation. This is all kind of Vedic, this one applying on our cultural dance, Bharatanatyam. Munivar and sages and Chanyasis, all they can't written only. Now everything come to to computer knowledge. Before, not like that. what they do, they're performing arts. That's the way they're teaching the writing the literature for the advanced, like Karnas. Seven, the movement of baby. 11, 7 not movable, 4 is not movable. That's implementing the other Karnas. All mother womb babies are coming. That's the Karnas. That's a Surya teacher was saying, explaining that. Karna is that one. These are after we researching, influencing all uh, in the Bharatanatyam knowledge. What is it now? First of all, why flaming the light? All the moon, everybody influencing moon. Moon is 28 days, 15 Valaprati, full moon and this one. Full moon time, whoever born, these are very creative writer, very mentally strong. These people are full moon time after this. After other one is called Tidi. This mean everything. We only go Tidi. You're looking on like a poor passed away. That's only looking, but it's not Tidi. Tidi is every 16, like every day. You can see the Tidi. I don't know whether it is going to be astrology, but whatever I must stick on the book. Whatever the Ramji is writing, this is whatever imaginative. This is right lots of things. And the Agastya Nakshatra is writing about. In Sidambaram, you can 20 degree. What's degree? Sidambaram 22 areas. Nobody knows that Agastya Nakshatra is in Sidambaram. I remember that when we are lucky, Annamalai University is coming from there. Sidambaram is one of the icon of our. That's why before Corona time, the people one of the say everybody come to our country. Why? Because of the coronavirus. Before they already predict. People doesn't know. All sages know that coronavirus. Before SARS and the anthrax virus. Like I did in microbiology. That's these all anthrax vaccines. And it was such a way, and these are all kind of thing influencing by planets in the Vedic. And full moon time, I work in a hospital. The lot of the mental destructing people, all influencing by moon races. That's called creative writing as well as doing all, and Bharatanatyam as well, into the science. This is Bharatanatyam, one of the other form of art. You are barber, you are acting face. My professor is here, even dance, performing arts, is a dance in Sri Lanka. Is a dramatic and he choreograph of the drama is in all its exposed and see all expression of a face. Then you can see now everything come to the limelight of screen. That's the different. This book is exploring everything. Even he doesn't know or not, but he's a lot of things. I was thinking about Tesla is the first created. Nobody wants to expose Tesla come out, but Tesla is a good thing. Now imagine long time after the grandson is taking out the Tesla 369. These all. That's the way. If you have like a father is called sun, mother is called moon. Moon is 10 years ruling, father is 6 years. That's the 10 years moon influencing, 6 years sun influencing, and 16 years rule planet is this called Mars. 16 years, every individual born they influencing. These are the one is 16 years. Father and mother ruled by the controlled by the Mars. Even though you can see there like dance. People everywhere we go, different attitude. They have a facial reaction. These are all influencing Mars. That's the Venus. Even the Western astrology, you can see love and care. The Venus is not the truth. This is all. This a number is all come out. Everything we are concept like a very consumed, little bit on in a fingertips. We want lazy. If you want to be a lot of things I can explain this on a big thing. I simply explain why we want to do this books is good and is good for the younger generation, and we have to explain our traditional values of astrology as well as astronomy. Even though Chandran now went to all our astrology things, we deduct by astrology code word to go this way, as we successfully reach. NASA is like looking us, how can this happen? These are our astrology, our Vedic astrology, the all gurus all wrote it about. What they did is, some other these are come Palayana Kalidalam Pudiyana Pudalam Balabilama Kala Vakinami is of Dolkapi wrote it. Palayana Kalidalam means we all throwing, we throw, you're going to be reached with. Then what they did it in all written on Pudanadi. That's all books of how to living in this world. A lot of them throw in Kaveri River. This has happened. We have lost it. I see one book, Kalidas astrology things. People can't never. Luckily, my professor told teach us for the language Tamil literature. I can read all kind of things. I still, done a lot of things in. I don't want to expose a lot of things, and you can read book anything you want. You can contact and I can explain. And either like good if you want to do it all simply and explain to you. You want to be a successful in your life. So whatever your soul, Achwini is the first star. You can activate second nakshatras, Bharani. Bharani, this is lucky for Achwini. Achwini is Saturn. Bharani is Guru. I mean, Guru is the one is something like that's the way you had activate. Then you successful in your life. And 6 is a lucky. That's the way the nakshatra work. And if you want to, that's a lot of things is applied. And if you want successful in your life, this is good thing about it. Anything about? Thank you, and I'll stop it off. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a very well said and
No,
so
it's okay.
good explanation given by you. Thank you so much for that. Now the time to release we are going to launch the book. Ramji will release the book. So first of all, the first book we want to Dr. Balasundaram. And also I request Balasundaram sir to honor Ramji with the golden job. The next time, kind of different see on the serial from Toronto, community, it's a power. Community, and it's a great honor for us from Annamalai, Canada. I would love to honor people with the golden. I think next week I will request one of our very known guru in Toronto, Shri Vasu Siddhartha, to come and accept the book. And I also request Ramji to honor the legal book. Next we will discuss one of our senior teachers here. After that, I will explain what you understand. We are also very happy to honor her for the great opportunity to students of teacher.
Satu, door satu. Door satu. The body version.
We have a great honor and privilege to honor teacher. Request Srimati Vanita Vijay come and accept me.
The only stranger in the room. Yes.
Always, whenever I go to her function, she will be always.
Should we do the session to do the group?
No, no,
Oh, you are.
she will be always honoring. Today, I got the opportunity to honor her for all her help.
Oh.
And we request Korean sir. We request
It's okay. You take. I didn't read the book. You got to write it. No, you got to cite later. No, see what that. Thank you. It's okay. Formality or not. No, first time.
See, in astrology, like, did you not know that this is going to happen?
No, no, I knew it, but this is not that. Okay.
we request Priyanka Rao
Well,
to come.
take picture.
Yes.
Even
Okay,
though
yeah,
student,
okay.
very good
Thank you.
student and so
You signed it.
dedicated to learn. And thank
You
you
write
so
it all after.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
One more associate.
This is you did it. Oh, thank you.
You are
Okay.
the blessed student.
Mhm.
We have a lot of work to do. At the time I kind of request all the teachers to do a picture with us. That is a great pride of honor. Yes.
And bring the book out.
I already
You can hold the book.
Yeah.
You will. So I've got to request one more person from 25
Oh, please.
Please. They have traveled only 8,000.
8,000. Oh my God.
What else?
It's just
Please come.
so much. Yes.
The twins and the mother. You're very good. Weight of it.
But the daughters will live here. By huh? They and
Thank you.
okay, there's a call.